Chipping the ball is great when you want to get it just over someone on the other team to one of your teammates on the opposite side of them. Hit the ball incorrectly and it won't go high enough or goes too far because you did not use enough loft. You don't have to be moving in order to chip a ball, but a few step run up does make it a little bit easier. Approaching the ball from a diagonal allows you to do a further distance chip versus approaching the ball directly from behind ensures that you can get it pretty high without it going too far. If you're even a little bit comfortable with chipping the ball, I recommend practicing it with the ball rolling because it's more game-like, and if you can chip a rolling ball, then you can definitely chip a stopped ball. By the way, I'm Dylan Joseph, soccer trainer, #1 best-selling Amazon author. When planting, plant about 6 inches away from the ball, and if it's rolling, make sure to also plant about 6 inches in front in order to compensate for the fact that it's moving. There's 2 things to consider when trying to do a short chip, and that's 1, trying to get those toes up as much as possible as you come through and under that ball, and secondly is you only want to bend at the knee. Notice here how just bending at the knee creates a short chip. In order to have a chip that goes further up the field, make sure to bend both at the knee and at the hip in order to get more power as you go through and chip that ball. Notice here how bending at the hip and knee creates a chip that goes much further. When going to chip the ball, try to get your foot as close to the ground as possible in order to get under the ball more and therefore chip it higher. But keep in mind that on a turf field, your studs are likely to get stuck in the turf, so it's a little bit harder to chip, versus on a grass field, it's a lot easier to chip because your studs will go through the grass and it's still easier to get under the ball. Imagine that your foot is a wedge where you're just trying to get under the ball slightly in order to pop it up in the air as much as possible. So the real trick in order to chip the ball lies in your ability to be able to get under the ball. Also, could you give this video a like? So bring your foot directly underneath the ball, either from the side or directly from behind the ball. Which approach you take depends on 3 things: how far you want the ball to go up the field, where you are in relation to the ball, and how much time you actually have to chip the ball. Aim to get the front of your laces directly underneath the ball, and when practicing, it's a lot easier to practice with the ball that's rolling towards you. If you're brand new to chipping, consider starting directly behind the ball when you go to practice. Launch the ball upward by having a full follow through, either when you're dribbling that ball or when it's stopped. Now, if the ball's rolling towards you, you really don't need to put that much power on it in order to be able to chip it high, because if you're really trying to chip it really far up the field, you're no longer really chipping it, you're just passing or striking the ball up the field. For those closer range chips, make sure to keep both your head and chest and shoulders over the ball in order to prevent the ball from going too far up the field. Just like with shooting, you don't want to watch the ball after it leaves your foot because you lift your head and it wrecks your form. If you're looking to chip that ball pretty far up the field, then leaning back is entirely appropriate. A chip is not a powerful kick and does not travel fast, but it should be high enough in order to get either behind the back line or up and over a defender on the other team. Chipping is considered an advanced form of passing, and the amount of backspin that you need on the ball, as well as control over the ball, makes it so that it's not feasible and reasonable to do if you've got a teammate that you could have easily just passed the ball to them on the ground. Remember, your teammate will be able to take a better first touch from a pass on the ground than from a pass in the air. It is not advisable to practice chipping barefoot because it's very easy to bend a toenail back and potentially even break one. A chip can be used to trick an opponent by running up to the ball very quickly and making it look like you're about to kick the ball very forcefully. Then, at the last second, revert to your chipping form and launch it upward. This is a perfect tactic to use if you're on a breakaway and the goalkeeper is trying to go low in order to stop any of those shots, allowing the ball to go over top them. Chipping can be easily practiced against a wall, into a net, on an open field, or with a teammate. Some coaches recommend that you practice chipping with both feet. If you're new to chipping and can't chip with either foot, then make sure to only practice using your dominant foot, because being good with one foot is much better than being only okay with both feet. To feel great knowing that you're the best passer on your team, make sure to grab the book I've written, Soccer Passing and Receiving, using the link in the description below.